Hi, my name's Benji and welcome to Dice vs Cards. Today we bring you an episode of the Versus Chronicles, where we pit two games against each other in an only mildly serious overview of both. These videos will act as a record, if you like, of what I've been playing, and we'll do our level best to highlight some form of degree of separation between these two, on a sliding scale between, yes, they're identical clones, all the way down to asymmetrical star-crossed lovers. As an added treat, you're 81.7% likely to get a clear and accurate representation of what these games are and what they look for in that someone special. Today's contestants, well, let's be kind and say they both share the same profession, that being that they both like a good old race to determine the winner. It doesn't matter whether it's putting pedal to the metal or hooves to the stirrups, it's just about feeling the wind in your face and appreciating the little things. The fact that they both come from startlingly different backgrounds is neither here nor there. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, it's fight time with Dice and Cards. And so, introducing to you first, in the blue corner, weighing in at £6 and 10 ounces, we have a game that represents part of an invading army of miniature war games dressed up as ball games, looking to encroach and show them weak ball games who the boss. However, this is a set of miniatures whose lack of intelligence and inability to drive in a straight line is sure to result in either spectacular success or hilarious failure. Either way, the good times must be rolling. Brought to you by their makers, Games will literally do anything to push our stunning minis workshop. They have most definitely come to smash faces and rob your shuttlecocks. It's Speed Freaks! And now introducing to you, in the red corner, weighing in at a considerably leaner £1 and 15 ounces, we have a game that takes life only slightly more seriously than its opponent this day, yet it brings much more light-hearted, wholesome fun to proceedings. It's not out to hurt anyone, it just wants to defend its turf, spread its love for gambling and its strange penchant for getting its participants to mount each other whilst weirdos look on. We're of course talking about a game that was originally designed with horses riding humans. Brought to you by Z-Man, we've made much more than Carcademic games. It's Camel Up! And so we start with the Freaks of Speed. Them orcses that will stop at nothing to destroy, oh boy, everything in their path. This time they come packaged with a ball game that allows them to show off their mad skills behind the wheels of some custom dune buggies and war bikes. Look, this is a Games Workshop product, so we know full well that the miniatures on offer here are going to be somewhere between top notch and the best you can find. And quite frankly, there's none more suited to this type of carnage, skid marks and shooting with random abandon than them fungi developed orcs. These minis are just begging to be painted, showing an incredible amount of detail. Alas, you'll likely be a fan of GW's sister product Warhammer 40k if you've got this to the table, so you'll be justly rewarded giving these bad boys a lick of paint. So with that out of the way, what sort of ball game jacket has been wrapped around these plastic pretties? Well, it's certainly not a mechanical marvel, but it does a wonderful job of evoking the feel and theme that they were going for. That being a part racing, part spraying and brawling monstrosity, where chaos and madcap antics is the order of the day. There are two versions that you can play, one that focuses on the racing element where a track of sorts is constructed and you get to play a mix of Mad Max and Rollerball, and the other is all out brawl, where you get up close and personal with a rival faction and it's kill or be killed. Either version puts you in control of movement rulers that will demonstrate how much orcs take inspiration from the drink-driving antics of those pesky, unreliable humies. In other words, if you want to drive in a straight line, find another game. There's no need for suavity and guile here, just drive more or less at your opponent and then roll some dice. And incidentally, the dice allocation mechanic adopted here is probably the best part of the game. You each get 10 dice at the start of the turn and you'll use those to gain initiative, move your rolling chassis or shoot those guns. Once you've allocated your dice to each category, you'll take each one, then assign them to the vehicles you want to move and the boomsticks you want to let off. It's a surprisingly efficient system, as the initial allocation is done secretly and so adds a certain level of uncertainty to proceedings. Any surplus dice you then place on your guns will allow you to re-roll your dice. Each model has its own stat line for attacking, defending and hit points, plus any special abilities they may have, and yes, you can be sure that some of these involve explosions. So what we ultimately have here is what was intended, a miniature tabletop game wrapped up in a board game. This will appeal to miniature tabletop gamers first and would act as a nice bridging game to the wonderful world of conventional board games. We then step off what feels like the edge of a cliff when discussing the Orcs' opponents in the other corner of the squared octagon, dialing things down a little bit for some good old fashioned family entertainment, with a splash of gambling and white knuckle racing. Camel Up, or Camel Cup as the box art would have you believe, is also a not so serious take on a racing game, but it's certainly a comparatively conventional one. All the players are actually spectators in the slowly but surely growing market of jockeyless mounted camel racing. Yep, you heard that right. This is a game that reminds me of a peloton in pro cycling. The camels wordlessly communicating with each other on the regular, saying, "Right, I've done my shift boys, I want to get on you for a bit. Fair dues, hop on until it's time for role reversal and someone else has a go." In game terms, that means that these wooden mammals form stacks of camels, but it's the lazy bugger at the top that leads the stack. I know, outrageous. So this is a you go, Dave goes, Beatrice goes, I go, you go again game, where you've got a bunch of actions you can choose from when it's your turn to do your thing. You can take the cardboard pyramid housing the dice, colour coded to each camel, and flip it face down so that a baby dice sprogs out, and then you move that camel forward that number of spaces. You can bet on the ultimate winner and loser of the race, and the quicker you guess those right, the more points you get come the end of the game. You can place oasis or desert tiles down to either hinder or help the camel's cruising speed, or you can bet on who the winning camel will be at the end of the round, which is triggered each time the last camel in the race has got their jog on. You'll then accrue Egyptian coins, also known as points, to varying degrees depending on what actions you've taken each round. Suffice to say, the quicker and more decisively you gamble on the outcome of both the round and the end of the race, the more coins you'll get. I should also point out that the version you're seeing here, my version, is not the latest printing of this game. It's like a dry old prune that's sat too long in the sun, but it's my dry old prune, and like a safe pair of shoes, it ain't being replaced ever, never ever. So cards on the table, you don't have to like gambling, you don't have to like racing, you don't even have to like camels to like this game, although shame on you if you don't like camels. This is probably some of the most easy breezy entertainment you'll find in a racing game. There's very little skill involved, but no shortage of risk and reward, culminating in a hugely enjoyable edge of your seat racing game. So in one of the more bizarre matchups in board game history, we're able to declare a winner. And on this day and at this time, that winner by technical knockout is Camel Up. But like most things combat sports, this is a bout that was not without some good old fashioned controversy. It turns out that the bout was being fought under the unified board game rules, not the equally unified tabletop miniature game rules. So each game was scored on its board game merits. As such, Camel Up's more well-rounded game mechanics were enough to overwhelm the scrappy beautiful speed freaks round after round, until the Orcs decided shuck it and self-destructed smack bang in the middle of the squoctagon, foolishly hoping that they would take all the camels with them. Alas, one camel was left standing to claim the victory, scorch marks and all. Ringside observers noted that, like the age-old boxing versus MMA argument, that if this fight were fought under different rules, then there would no doubt be a different winner. As it is though, the camels are full of beans after their victory and feel ready to take on the world. I'm told Carmen, the surviving camel, is already sounding out a potential hybrid camel-horse race for some big bucks. But for now, tonight's entertainment is over. We do hope that you've been raucously entertained and very well educated while watching this video, and even if you haven't, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with what we do.